Welcome to tonight's recap of Dancing with the Stars.
It's America's choice, because tomorrow's Veterans Day.
Yes, and it's also the quarterfinals.
And to all the veterans out there, thank you for your service.
Thank you very much for your service.
So, let's start the show. Each couple is doing 2 dances.
Yes, one picked by America and one trio.
I always like the trio ones because
they're interesting.
Yeah, they are very interesting because it's something you don't see all the time.
Yeah, so Alfonso and Whitney started off with a foxtrot picked by America, and they were dancing to Ain't That a Kick in the Head, Robbie Williams version.
They were dressed all classy with tails and ball gown.
It was a straight up awesome foxtrot.
Yeah, and it was lovely, it was classy. Even Bruno was like, yes, it was a gone by era. Bygone?
But it did still have little flares of Alfonso and Whitney in there, because you know they like to add a little something something.
I don't know what the hell bitch Carrie Ann was talking about. There was a little hesitation in there. It wasn't a mistake.
She picked out like the tiniest thing ever to complain about. That wasn't even a thing.
Exactly. So they ended up with the 37. Really?
All right, Bruno knows what's up. So next up, a trio with Lindsay.
All right, so this was a paso doble, and they danced to Turn Down for What?
What? At first I was just like, ugh. But then I was like, this is awesome. Yeah, it really worked. It really worked. And Alfonso rocked it. Lindsay and Whitney rocked it.
It was fantastic, even though there was a couple hip-hop moves in there.
Hey.
They didn't complain. So they got a perfect score of 40 for that.
I mean, that was
very
a no-brainer.
Well deserved. Yeah. So they ended up with a 77.
All right. So next up, let's talk about Tommy and Peta.
First, they started the show off with, "They're safe."
I knew they were gonna do that.
What?
Yeah.
All right. So
and Peta almost like collapsed or something. She was like,
Peta almost Peta'd herself.
Yeah.
Maybe she did.
I don't know. But they started off with a Viennese waltz to Trouble. Not Taylor Swift Trouble.
No. It was decent, kind of.
He had the rotation in there for those reverse turns. I don't know if he even did any natural turns, though. I think it was all reverse.
But he was a diaper baby out of hold. It was all...
Yeah.
I'm just learning how to walk. My legs are
Viennese waltzing.
Yeah, so... 29. Really? That was so kind.
All right, well... You know what was even kinder? The scores for their mess of a trio with Sharna.
Oh my God.
This was supposed to be a samba.
It was a whole little story of 2 sexy Australian slutty airline hostesses and him on the plane. And if you thought he was a diaper baby on the first one, he fell into the chair on the second one. He was supposed to fall into the chair, but he didn't fall into it right, and he almost took a handle up the butt.
Well, they managed to, get in another pot joke, fly high.
And it was all dance to Talk Dirty to Me.
I love when he mouthed the...
Yeah, out of sync with the... Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be a Len here and say there was a samba basic. He did front and back basic, and he may have done a whisk. That was pretty much it for the samba.
Ridiculous. 28 for that.
That was
for that mess.
Very, very kind.
They still have the lowest score of the night with a 57, but...
All right. But great personality. Personality. Okay. So next up, Leah and Artem. They also did a samba this week.
Well, America chose a samba for them. And she wanted tricks. What tricks are we going to throw in here, Artem?
I think Artem was getting a little annoyed because she tried to play backseat choreographer.
Yeah, no one likes that.
Give me turns. Let's do tricks.
I can do turns. I can do turns. No, we have to do samba content.
Right. So, I'm going to say yes, her costume did look great. But...
The costume is not anything to do with the dance.
The samba... It was not so good.
You don't make the samba so good.
I had a lot of issues with this one, and I feel like I'm being a negative Nancy, but like I was disappointed with a lot of the dances this week and a lot of the scores that went with those dances.
I hate like hell when they suck and the judges are like, that was perfect.
I mean, if I didn't already know that this was a samba,
You wouldn't have.
it was offbeat at times. It just didn't have that samba character.
Where was the bounce?
Where were the hips?
It was like her legs were Gumby legs. Very thin,
And it's just
spindly Gumby
the
legs.
same comment that we've said and the judges have said over and over again. She dances too light. She's not grounded because she's got that ballet in there.
But they made a point of telling her, yeah, you got right in there.
What?
When?
I don't know. But they got
The
a 34, which I thought was a little high for that.
A little?
High
All
for
right.
that.
Well, their trio, which they forced Henry to do with them, was the Paso Doble to Black Betty, blam blam.
Now I felt kind of bad for them because it must have been really tough to dance Paso Doble after Alfonso's Paso was
Yeah.
like insane.
Well, this wasn't hard at all. I mean, she didn't dance hard at all.
Yeah, again, just like,
She is a butterfly. She's not a bee.
all right,
She
well,
can't sting like a
the
bee.
judges were all about it. She got all 9s across the board,
Yeah.
which gave them a total of 70 for the night.
All right. Bethany and Derek are up next. They started off with America's Choice Viennese Waltz.
I like this. I like the story behind it. I thought it was pretty good all the way through, except the posture did get a
Yeah.
little messed up. You know, she did.
I thought it was too
The shoulders
short.
crept up.
I mean, I thought it was really short.
Maybe that's just because we enjoyed it.
That's possible, but they got a 36,
Okay.
which I think was fair.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty
Yeah.
fair.
But when they were coming back from commercial, before they did their trio with Tony, Bruno laid back on the judge's desk. You know how they have the music in between?
Yeah.
And the judges are all like,
Brought his legs up.
and then split them. Really?
Is this Bring It with the Stinky Diva? Are you doing the Stinky Diva stand,
I didn't
Bruno?
see George Michael in the audience. You're not in any music video for
Oh,
him.
man.
So just sit down in your seat. I don't
Well-
care if you're getting $60,000 an hour.
Let's get back to Bethany and Derek. They were dancing their trio with Tony.
We love Tony. He's one of our favorites.
Yes, so they did an Argentine tango, and I gotta say, I was a little underwhelmed.
Boring.
It was too much, almost too much start and stop for me, you know what I mean?
There were hardly any beautiful shapes.
Yeah.
That's what an Argentine
I don't know,
tango
I
is
just
all
wasn't
about.
feeling it. I just wasn't feeling it.
All right.
But they got a 38.
There wasn't a whole lot of ganchos either.
Mm.
So total score for them was 74.
All right, moving on to Sadie and Mark. They started off with a jive.
Her footwork's just no good.
Yeah,
It's
well,
no good.
the thing about this one too, jive is a very difficult dance on its own. But America wanted them to dance like a straight up competitive style dance, no gimmicks, no,
Right.
you know, nothing like that. So they didn't have any characters or anything to kind of fluff it up with.
And she's very tall. The longer your limbs are, it's like
Hard to control them.
it's like in baseball. You choke up on the bat if you want
Yeah.
to get it to come around
or
quick.
like the amount of slack you have. Like if you have a rope, you know, it's
Right.
harder to control when you don't have as much
Exactly.
slack.
so it
Or when
was-
you have more slack.
So it was pretty loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
It's not her fault.
She did her best.
Exactly.
But I thought it was hilarious how the judges were like, "Oh, Mark, do your crazy stuff. We love that."
We love to give you low scores and have you be upset about it.
Right. So they got a 33
So they
for
still
this
got
one.
pretty low, 33. All right, so their second dance was a trio with Emma and
This was very interesting because usually when you see these trios, they pick the pro that is the opposite gender of the
Right.
celebrity. But this time, they ended up picking Emma.
because they didn't have anybody else who was tall enough or short enough or so
So obviously it's pretty risky
it is.
to choose another girl because that's a lot of pressure and it's
Right.
going to be pretty clear like who the pro is, you know what I mean?
Well, it was a foxtrot to Can't Take My Eyes Off of You.
That's
She
like
was
one of my
so
all-time
pissed.
favorite songs.
That's It's my song! That's what she said.
Yeah, but okay, this was one of my favorite numbers of the night. The concept, the costumes.
The costumes were amazing.
The music, of course, the choreography, and I thought they executed it really well.
I thought it was phenomenal.
I loved it. Sadie was really upset, though. She was, like, crying after it.
She blew the last couple of
I didn't notice anything.
counts, but I didn't either. And at times, you know, I couldn't tell who was who.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. But I really, really loved this one.
At times, I couldn't tell who was who.
One of my favorites of the night, for sure.
All right, so they got a perfect 40 for that. And I thought, you know, it's about time they actually got a score they can sink their teeth into.
All right, well, that gave them a 73 for the night.
All right, so we've only got one couple left, and that is Janelle and Val.
All right, America wanted to see them dance a quick step.
America also wanted to see them kiss. Like, that hasn't happened before.
They're doing it.
All right, so I thought the quick step was really great.
Yeah, I thought it had a lot of great content, very difficult choreography.
There was a scary little, potentially scary mistake in there where Val almost ended up on his butt.
Yeah, and she went flying too.
Yeah, apparently his shoes stuck together.
Yeah.
Because he had patent leather shoes on. But they got a 38 for that.
Yeah.
Which I guess was okay. But their trio with Keo. I would love to see more of Keo.
I know, he's
great. And I'm
great.
glad they picked him because I think he's really good.
So we had split opinions on this one.
Yeah.
They were dancing a salsa.
But it wasn't just a salsa. It was a sexy, skanky salsa. There was some very, very dirty tricks in there.
I have to agree with Len. There were times where I was a little uncomfortable watching.
Where's
that.
her head?
Her crotch was in his face.
I know.
For a while.
And there was not a lot of salsa.
There was like barely any salsa. That's my main issue.
But you know what, kids? Sex sells, and that's why they got a 39. Len was the only one who was like, too much vagine.
I'm the Len of these recaps. I'm sorry. Yes. I just was not feeling this one.
I'm certainly not the Carrie Ann. So they ended up with a 77 for the night. Okay. So when all was said and done, the final bottom two, not necessarily the bottom two, but for their purposes, were Leah and Artem versus Sadie and Mark. So you know who went home, right? Leah and Artem. Yeah. It was their time. Except for, that bastard should have went home. But
Whoa.
No, because that's what Peta calls him all the time.
Okay. I just feel like Leah was great in the beginning. I think she peaked a little too soon and then kind of just petered out.
Exactly.
Which is too bad.
And she's only a one note. She's only float like a butterfly.
All right, well.
Next time it's the semifinals already. Oh my God. There's only a few weeks left.
All right, let us know who your favorites were tonight and who do you think's in trouble next week?
Probably not Tommy.
You never know.
All right, so till next time, much love.
Edit.